sports flowing in their veins. Mackie and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
I just really feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. You know, I'm not. It shouldn't be something that we should be celebrating. Like, oh, you got the chance to play a good game on a national stage. You should be really proud and like excited. Like, I'm supposed to do that. That's why, I understand the question, but I don't want to act like it's something that should be. It should be abnormal. It should be like, wow, I did that. Like, that's what I should be doing on a nightly basis, especially now. I shouldn't be happy about having a game like I had tonight. And and so I feel the same way for Ant. Ant should be happy. Should feel like he should do this every single night.
Listen, Cat might not want to celebrate the Timberwolves' first postseason lead in 18 years, but we will.
That's right. It's traveling. The flag is traveling. The towel. Here it is.
The shoes.
The shoes are off.
Still off.
The shoes are off.
My shoes are off for game 2. 2-0 series leads.
Even before it starts.
I'm just going to have a shoe off the rest of the show. Just one shoe.
Just one shoe.
Hold on a second. I'm too close to that room.
Yeah, sorry.
Can smell it through the glass.
Dex, the days are what? You did the math today on the days since the Wolves have won a playoff game or led a playoff series.
I did some digging. So it was during when they played the Kings in the semifinals, they lost game 1, and then they won games 2, 3. So they went up 2-1 against Sacramento in 2004, and it's been 6,550 days since the Wolves have had a series lead.
So you're not counting like winning game 7?
No, not necessarily. No. It's 6,000 plus days.
I was gonna say, let's not split hairs here.
I feel like you're giving them 9 days too much credit there. But.
Oh darn! Yeah, 644 days or whatever. Yeah, it's been 6,000 damn days.
That's a great segue. So let's get into some statements here from the weekend. If you want a breakdown of the Wild with another thrilling victory, Judd's Hockey Show, hot off the presses this morning. Score North YouTube channel. Judd's Hockey Show podcast feed, Mackie and Judd podcast feed. So I'm going to piggyback off Declan's little 6,000-day anecdote there, okay? Statement number 1. The Timberwolves lead a playoff series for the first time in not just 18 years, but 6,000 days. And here's what the world looked like in May of 2004. All right, let's start with us. I think, Judd, you were covering the Green Bay Packers beat for the Star Tribune, weren't you? In May of 2004?
Yeah. Yes. I was on that. Yep. I was 34 years old covering the Packers beat for the Strib. Yes,
Were you commuting or were you living in some
I lived in Green Bay during
the
season. I lived in Green Bay, but in May of 2004, I was home. And I believe I went to a game or two of the Kings series. I sat upstairs for at least one game. It was fun. What an atmosphere that was back then.
So Judd was 3 years. I'm sorry, 2 years. Well, no, I turned 37 in May. So you were 3 years younger than I am now. The last time the Timberwolves, led a playoff series. Declan, you were in 5th grade.
Yeah, I was 11.
Okay,
11.
Thinking this is going to happen all the time.
5th or 6th grade.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
I was a freshman at the University of Minnesota, living in Pioneer Hall. I watched that whole season in just a jail cell, basically. For anyone that knows Pioneer Hall. Does it even still exist?
Yep.
Okay.
Still in the back end.
There used to be a rumor that it was an insane asylum, and there's been scary movies made.
I actually lived in there when I started my brief matriculation. I lived on the first. I lived on the first floor, right by a couple of Gopher hockey players back then. But yes, man. it was like a jail cell. You're not wrong about that.
That's tough, man. All right, Anthony Edwards was 2 years old the last time the Timberwolves led a playoff series.
Wow.
The top songs in the country were, and this takes me back to college. Go. Yeah, by Usher, Lil Jon, and Luda. That was a freaking banger, man.
Yeah,
that was a great
That's
song.
An all-timer. All-timer.
Tipsy by Jaquan.
Yep.
Naughty Girl by Beyonce.
It's a great song.
Yep. And
great
This
song.
Love by Maroon 5 was also
one of the
top
that was
songs
that was like the birth of Maroon 5's.
That's unfortunate.
Top 40.
This Love,
that's unfortunate.
Sunday Morning, whatever the other.
Songs About Jane, if I can get on a tangent here, is one of legitimately one of the better albums of all time. And they went so downhill after Songs About Jane.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've gone downhill in terms of like their popularity and
No. Yeah, that's been not the case.
financial earnings, but
They Songs About Jane, in my opinion, was the best album, and nothing has touched it since.
the final episode of Friends aired 1 week earlier on NBC. The week so
Really?
Right.
when the Wolves knocked off the Kings a week earlier, the final episode of Friends aired on NBC, drawing an estimated 66 million viewers in North America. Advertisers paid $2 million for 30-second ads on the Friends finale. The last time the Timberwolves led a playoff series.
My family was I swear we were one of the first families, at least that I knew, that got TiVo.
TiVo.
And
yes.
we had that TiVo because we had a family dinner out at a restaurant. I remember my sisters and my mom rushing home. And of course, social media didn't exist yet, so there wasn't any spoilers or anything. And them rushing home and freaking out when Rachel says, I got off the plane.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I'm so old.
Been 18 years.
I sat in Bullwinkle's and watched the last episode of Cheers.
What? So people just bellied up at bars to watch the last episode
turned
of
it up.
Cheers?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Amazing.
But I mean, I'm so old that I was in Bullwinkle's at the tender age of 23 or 22.
Cheers for your
watching-
so the
Cheers,
previous
Seinfeld, and Friends are the three. Well, MASH,
Yeah, MASH.
Cheers,
MASH is way
Seinfeld,
back.
Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
MASH is 82.
Northwest Airlines was the main airline and hub at MSP
Yeah.
Airport.
Oh, yeah.
2004. Now,
Actually
RIP.
I actually enjoyed them. I thought they did a nice job.
They did. They served meals. You could just
Yeah.
get a hot meal if you were.
Yeah, come on, Dex. You were 11. What would you know?
I was on. I wrote
flew
a
them
lot
a
of.
lot.
No, my mother did not like Northwest Airlines, so I'm just going to default to her take on that one.
MySpace was the top social media platform. Facebook
Oh my God.
just launched in February of 2004 for select colleges. You had to have a college email, and then I think the University of Minnesota got access to Facebook in the summer or something of 2004, maybe the fall. But MySpace was the top social media platform. YouTube did not exist yet. Twitter was still 3 years away from existence, and TikTok was 12 years away from existence.
Kids love to talk. That's all I know
Judd,
now.
and they love Judd on the
There was
talk.
nowhere for people to post their weird dancing videos.
I know.
MySpace, I guess you could. And then if you want to look over to what the Vikings were doing the last time the Timberwolves
Oh God.
led a playoff series.
2004. Ticey,
Red
yeah.
McCombs was the owner. Mike Tice was the Vikings head coach, and Dante Culpepper had not yet even embarked on his borderline MVP caliber season of
Yep.
2004.
Yeah, Moss and Burleson, right?
Yeah, that was the
Get
well,
your
it was
roll on.
largely
Receivers?
Burleson.
Yeah, because Moss
I guess
got hurt.
05 was the big Burleson year, but yeah. So that's what the world looked like in part
Amazing,
the last
dude.
time and by the way, George W. Bush was still in his first term, I believe, as president, and then he battled John Kerry a few months later. So there you go. The Timberwolves took them a minute to lead a playoff series, but they got the wheel again. Let's go.
God, that's some frightening stuff right there. All right. Statement 2. In fact, you know what? I'm going to be prepared to make the statement so that the song can ring out. The shoes are off. Anthony Edwards loves the moment. Loves the moment. There it is. There it is. I got to stay within the confines. Okay, TikTok, pick this up, huh? Huh? Put this on the top. Old man waves towel.
It's got to be
Look, back-to-back games now. Play-in game against the Clippers. 30 points, 5 boards. Okay, what's our statement? Do it again, right? Let's see it again. Let's see that again, Ant. 36 points, 6 assists in the Game 1 win against the Grizzlies. I don't think there's anything I enjoy more in sports than an athlete who looks at pressure and sort of just laughs and says, oh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Dagger again. If you're to tell me Ant Edwards is Mr. Consistent and every game, November, December, he plays hard, but playoffs come and he sort of falls off a little bit, I'd be like, well, that's really not a great option. But if you tell me there's these weird arbitrary games that sometimes he just doesn't play well in, but when the pressure is on, when the pressure is on. And by the way, here's the difference, in my opinion, between, and there are a lot, but the Wiggy thing was this. He would self-motivate in certain games, like against Cleveland. They traded me. I'm going to show the Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. And it was like, dude, I don't care. Like, be good more, and you're not. But Ant takes it to teams in the most difficult times. Playing game. Carl's terrible. Ant don't care. D'Lo, game 1. D'Lo's terrible. Ant don't care. So when you can step up and do what Ant is doing right now in high-stress games, bravo. It's awesome to watch, and the young man is still only 20 years old.
Yeah. Now, is there a chance he's going to have a clunker or two and go 3 for 14 in one of these games, and Dylan Brooks locks him down? Yeah. I don't call me a hater, but I don't think he's like averaging 30 points per game going forward against some of the best teams in the world. But what I love is, like, look at Ben Simmons' last 15 months or so, where he's a very serious guy, and he's very much affected by fans, and if he misses a shot, he thinks about it, and then he gets the free throw yips. It's like, knock on wood here, but like, can you envision Ant ever just like getting really serious and overthinking and like getting the free throw yips? He's fun loving in the best way. Like, he's not fun loving like J.R. Smith was fun loving and kind of a dude. It's time to grow up and like think about the game situation type of a way. Ant seems like he understands that this is all important for your career, but at the same time, like, it's pretty fun. Like, you're out there playing a game, and you shouldn't feel the weight of the moment and the pressure. It's like he doesn't feel the weight of it all, because the weight is manifested. Like, it's a made up thing that players crumble under. I think Cat sometimes feels the weight, right? Like, the officials and the Clippers in the game, and like Ben Simmons, like, oh God, I can't make a free throw now, and Ant's just like, whatever, give me the ball, who cares? I'm gonna airball a corner 3 wide open, and then just come back next time and knock it down.
And Finch gets mad, and guess what? He's like, okay, cool.
Yep. And he doesn't get offended. Like, Finch will get into him, and Finch will call him out in post-game press conferences, and then Ant, in response, comes back and calls Finch the best coach in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like that. Think about that as a coach. You can get into your players, you can call them out at press conferences, and in response, they will call you the best coach in the NBA. Inject it. Right here. Just inject it. All right, get the flag.
Back. It's back. It's back. First time in how many days, Declan?
6,500 and something.
Old man waves towel because he was young man before this. Last time that they won a playoff game.
Yeah, we need like a time lapse of all of us, just how fresh-faced we all were.
I look exactly the same, actually, from 11 to 29.
You probably didn't have that scruff that's growing
This is
right
as
now.
Scruffy as it's been. It's 5 days.
Is this a wild playoff beard?
Change the
Is this
scruff.
a Wolves playoff beard?
What's up with the stash?
Yeah, it's starting to be a little coming in a little bit there, huh?
Wolves playoff mustache.
All right.
Let's go.
God, it'd be great.
If they don't, I have Wolves in 4, by the way. So if they don't lose on Tuesday, I think I got to keep it, right?
Dude, I think you got to keep it regardless. Let's see it.
If the Wolves get knocked out, then you can think about shaving, but then it might transition to a wild playoff stash.
Oh, boy. I don't know.
I think the stash is money.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the gal thinks, but I think it's money.
She likes the whiskers. I don't know how she feels about the stash. I don't know why she likes my damn whiskers. Because I can't grow a beard. My father and brother can grow a luxurious big beard and missed me, skipped me on that.
Oh, your brother has the
nice brawny, good-looking man, and then there's Declan. That's the saying in the golf.
The genes come from different places.
They do. All right, enough about my scruff. Here's my statement. My statement is, by the way of the Threesley, Malik Beasley with 23 points in the playoff win for the Wolves against Grizzlies on Saturday. ESPN had under-the-radar players, X factors for all 16 teams that could steal playoff games. And Malik Beasley was the one that they picked. And here's what they had written up about Beasley, that he quietly finished 5th in the NBA in three-pointers this season, shattering the Wolves' franchise record with 240 trays. Like many players who live behind the arc, 75% of his shot attempts came from 3, and he ran hot and cold. In wins, he shot 40%. In losses, 35%. And Beasley on Saturday against the Grizzlies was 4 of 10, shot 40% from 3. Just the complementary pieces, too, that go along with this. Not just Beasley, obviously. Like, Jaden McDaniels had an amazing game defensively and also knocked down some corner triples. Like, Ant and Cat should have the ability to take over a ball game, even when D'Lo is running cold, right? But then when Beasley and Jaden McDaniels and these role players step in to be complementary pieces and are hitting their ceilings and doing exactly their jobs, the Wolves are going to be hard to beat, man. Like, Ant went off. Is Ant going to have that type of performance in all 7 games potentially in this playoff series? Probably not. Can these other complementary pieces like Beasley and Jaden McDaniels and even Naz Reid, can they come up and step up and try to take some of that shoulder off of them? That's what I'm curious to see. And I think Beasley had a huge game for the Wolves on Saturday.
Yeah, I think he had, for a while there, he was, wasn't he 20 points, 18, 20 points per game on a bad team a couple of years ago? And then, okay, now it's time to settle into a bench role, and you're going to be getting 20 to 25 minutes. So you're going to have to find it. In the first half of the season, he couldn't make a shot, and it felt like he had to get his every time he came into the game. And he was almost operating in the first 3 months of the season on an island from everybody else. But I think his defense has been more locked in. He's never going to be Bruce Bowen in his prime, but his defense seems more locked in. And if you can get him 8 to 10 3-point attempts per game this series, like, one of the biggest advantages the Timberwolves have in this series is the math problem of 3-pointers. They are a much better 3-point shooting team than Memphis. Now, the bigger math problem for Memphis is if you get outdone from the 3-point line and the Wolves out-rebound you, you can't win. So, like, going into the series, a lot of people are, well, Memphis, look at how deep Memphis is, and look at how great they were in the regular season. But when you start to really, and this actually segues into my next statement, when you start to really look at player for player and you go down the rosters, and my next statement is, if everybody is playing at their best, the Timberwolves have 3 of the top 4 players in this series. I think if everyone's playing at their best, Ja Morant is probably the best player in this series. But I wouldn't die on that hill. I think if Cat's at his best, you could say he is. I mean, Ant was at his best the other night. He was the best player on the court, both sides of the ball. Made plays on defense, knocking down threes, right? So maybe let's just say you lean Ja barely over Cat and Ant at his best. But then I think the next 3 best players in the series are Cat, Ant, and D'Lo, if everyone's playing at their best. Now, D'Lo wasn't in Game 1, but they still won by double digits. And then the next layer after that is probably some Memphis players, like Desmond Bane is probably the 4th guy or the 5th guy on this list. Dylan Brooks, with the defense he can bring. Jaren Jackson Jr. led the league in blocks. But if you've got 3 of the top 4 players in the series, if everyone's playing at their best, why is everyone just decidedly picking Memphis to win the series, right? And I say that going into
because of their record, yeah. It's because they had a great year, but the thing about that is that doesn't 1,000% translate to the playoffs. So I think we look at their seeding, their success, and say, well, yeah, they're clearly the superior team. And regular season wise, they might have been, but that doesn't totally translate. That's not like, well, the playoffs started now and that's success. So that's where I'm curious to see how this ebbs and flows, because just because you had a really nice pop-up year does not mean that you are destined for success.
Yeah. You know what you are destined for, though? A great summer of golfing at Meadows. That's what I hear.
Oh, yeah. The Meadows Bar and Grill, too, where you can also enjoy a nice beverage and sit out on that patio. We got 69 nice degrees coming up on Saturday. It's going to be actually a really nice day for once, and I can't wait to get out and swing the clubs. And also, you can go to the golf shop down there, which is filled up with great apparel. I like to look well when I'm golfing, all right? That's my game. If I can just look well, I'm okay with that.
Look good, feel good, play like crap still, but that's fine.
Like Declan. That's fine. There's a lot of golfers like that. And the Meadows is also one of the most beautiful courses in all of the Midwest and in the metro area. It's just a short drive down 169. Check them out. The Meadows at Mystic Lake. It's a great place to play some golf.
Also, awesome. Speaking of the weather breaking, if you like to ride, whether it's a Harley, an Indian, Metric Cruiser, sport bike, you name it, Dennis Kirk has you covered. And they've been supporting us for a long time. All we ask on this show is, if you could support, people ask, how can I help? Where should I listen? You can listen or watch wherever you want. It helps us all the same. But if you could go the extra step and support the sponsors that support us, then we can all keep growing this Minnesota sports community. And Dennis Kirk offers free shipping on orders over $89, over 160,000 parts and accessories in stock, and they offer same-day shipping on orders placed before 8 p.m. Ride more, wait less. DennisKirk.com. All right, next statement, Judd.
Next statement is this, at least off game one, but it's very important. Advantage Finch. Advantage Finchy. So there seem to be a lot of discussions oftentimes about coaching in sports, right? How much of a difference does a coach make? And the important thing to keep in mind here is it largely depends, in my opinion, on the time of year. So like December 20th, a coach might make a good move, might not. Who really gives a damn? Playoffs, though, in hockey and basketball, I think coaching becomes imperative. And look, Ant on Saturday in game one was great. Carl came back and played well.
Switch.
D'Lo did not. But the fact was, do you know what I think? That if the Wolves are going to indeed pull off what will be considered an upset of the Grizzlies, what we should not lose sight of is the coaching matchup. Chris Finch coached a great game. And I know we can debate about substitutions and that, but you think about how he deployed guys, and you think about the fact that the Wolves in game one had a plan for just about everything Memphis could do that would have beaten you, right? Like, they had a really good plan. This guy is a really good tactical coach, I think. This guy has a plan. And when you get to a potentially long series and adjustments become absolutely imperative, advantage Finchy in game one. And I'm not so sure that was a fluke. Very curious to see what the Grizzlies do on Tuesday night to counter some of this.
Yeah, I thought there was a moment. The second quarter was a disaster. The Wolves turned the ball over 13 times. They kicked away like a 13-point lead. And the one thing I didn't love was Finch, and it was some of the starters, but it was like once the bench came in, and then Tyus Jones is leading the second unit for Memphis, and Memphis just absolutely bulldozed the Timberwolves. I didn't love that he didn't call a timeout. He just kind of let the lead dwindle away, and then once the game was tied or whatever, he called timeout. In the second half, he called a couple strategic timeouts. I think there was one in the fourth quarter. I can't remember the timing, but we talked about this on the Wolves Vent Line edition, where John Morant goes up, rises up for a two-handed dunk that brought them very close. I don't know if it tied the game or if it was like they're back within 2 or 3. And then the Wolves went down, something happened, but like the next trip down, he called it. He's like, I don't want this arena to pop off. Let's pump the brakes here. And you're going to have to do some of that. Like, I mean, Memphis is going to go on a run. So I didn't love that he let Memphis come all the way back without throwing a timeout in there. But overall, yeah, like Chris Finch is one of the best tacticians offensively, especially in the NBA.
Finchy, I call him.
Finchy.
Because we're tight.
On a CBS sitcom coming near you. Yeah.
Oh, he'd be great on
He would be. He'd be great.
This frazzled coach, the frazzled coach and his basketball team of underachievers, they make a playoff run. Coming up on Finchy on CBS.
Oh, my God. A quick statement from me here. My statement is Wolves fans deserve this, dude. We were just talking about how it's been 6,000 plus days. And I think what was so remarkable when we did our event line after the win on Saturday was there was literally people who came on our show who said, I've never seen this before. Their entire lifetime, they have either not experienced it or not remembered it. Yeah, I was 11 the last time the Timberwolves made their run to the Western Conference Finals. And I do remember that. I remember KG standing up on the scorer's table. I remember when they basically weren't able to get past the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. But Wolves fans deserve this. We talk about the state of hockey all the time, and the Wild have been to the playoffs. They just punched their playoff ticket last night. It's the 9th time they've been to the postseason since 2013. And only the Penguins have been there more. Well, guess what? The Wild have also only gotten past the first round twice. Okay, so as much as I love the Wild, and I think a playoff run's also in them as well, the Wolves fans finally get their moment here. And the job is not done, because I still have Wolves in 4, baby, but the Wolves absolutely deserve this moment, okay?
It's so over the top.
Wolves in 4.
Wolves in 4.
I mean, listen, man, like, if it happens, you stuck that flag in the ground.
Yeah, it's going to be the home runs of all.
Oh, God, yeah, the grand slam.
The Wolves are 50-1 right now to win the NBA title. Just want to throw that out there.
I think I'm
do they win this once every 50 times the playoffs are played? Once?
Maybe. Might ride the money line again. So it's the same money line again. It's plus 240.
We need shirts that just say
you do
ride
you.
the money
Ride
line.
the money line. Ride the money line.
I like it. You do you, Declan.
Yeah, I will.
So, all right, there you have it. That's what the world looked like in 2004. That's it's Declan calling for a Wolves sweep here. That'd be the first sweep in franchise history if that happened, right? Yeah.
Yes,
for any
it would
Memphis fans that are hate watching this right now, that's Declan Goff right there. You can find him every day here on Mackie and Judd, Daily Minnesota Sports Entertainment. All right. It's been a while since we've checked in with our friend Randy in Cottage Grove, the most passionate Vikings fan we know. He's going to come on the show with his 1.0 mock draft. At least I think it is. I have not seen him mocking to this point. I don't know why he has waited this long when all the other prevalent mockers are on like 2.0, 3.0, but we'll get an explanation.
For Schrager, perhaps? I mean, there was the great debate. Who was stealing from whom?
I think we know Schrager was stealing from Randy.
Yeah, we know Schrager.
I think we know. All right, so let's get Randy on.